Hi, she's Trixie, and I'm Sarah, and this is Our Yarn World, a place where we come to share the love of yarn crafts and all that it gives us and what we hope it gives you. We're on episode 182 today, and we are sharing what we've gotten done in the last 2 weeks. We were not here last week, but it got really hot.
This will be explained.
It got really hot and it got really hard to want to do stuff when everything is so muggy and everything is so when your skin gets tacky and everything feels like it's touching you. It's very hard to want to do a project that might kind of trip your senses. So
yeah. Well, not only that, during May we had some pretty bad windstorms and thunderstorms, and my house is right next to a field, and which
holds no barrier.
Which is also the way that the wind comes. And we ended up getting straight line winds right into our house, right slamming right into our house. And it was bad enough that there was tornado warnings and everything, and I didn't know if we were getting a tornado that night or not. In fact, my husband had gone to bed early because he has to go to work early in the morning, so he was in bed, and I just ended up standing in our bedroom doorway, and he said, "I'm up." He says, "What's going on?" And I told him what was going on. Our slider door is on the same side as the field, and it was rattling so bad that I thought it was going to blow in. And didn't know that at the time our roof was coming undone. Shingles all over the yard. We had some damage, and there was no trees down in our yard or on our roof or anything like that. It was just the winds just took the shingles, and so we got a hold of the insurance company, and the assessor came out, and we were cut a check, and so we got the supplies and started on the roof on the weekend where it was the hottest weekend of the year so far. And the heat index was so bad, and my husband was up on the roof getting it torn off, the rest of the shingles torn off, and I was on the ground trying to pick the stuff up and put it into the trailer. And we both ended up getting some kind of heat sickness, and so that's why we couldn't record last week. I'm sure Sarah didn't feel like it either after being so hot, but I was just recovering, and so that's why we didn't film last week. But and so because of all this roof business, we've only gotten half of our roof done, so we've got a whole nother half to do. I've been helping with that, helping to get the yard cleaned up and all that kind of stuff while my husband gets the roofing done. But I did get a little bit done, so I want to show you that. I'm going to reach for it right now. So, okay, everything's still hooked to the yarn, so let's get some of that loosened up.
I'll scooch.
Now, I have not, this is not finished, it's just to show you what it's going to look like, somewhat. I've gotten the couch form made. I've gotten the crochet rectangle done. But see, it is, oh, poor girl. It is not hooked or attached in any way. I just wanted to show you what it was going to look like when it is attached. And see, I'm going to attach it at the bottom together, and then Sarah's going to teach me how to do the sides, so that I've got the sides attached and everything. And then we're going to have a couch that should fit 3 of these dolls. We should be able to, be able to get 3 of these dolls on there. And her feet actually touched the floor, so I was really proud of that. I had to cut a little bit more off, but I think I had to cut this much more off. So that's what I've worked on. I have gotten the whole rectangle done to fit over this, and just made the couch form out of, let me show you that, out of styrofoam. So I marked each one so that when I glued it with hot glue, I could know where they went. And then I cut a couple of pieces to fit inside so that it would hold together and not come apart on me when I was, I don't want it to fall apart once I've got all of this crocheted stuff together on it. So, and even if it does, I guess it wouldn't come out. It would just be a hindrance because it would be out. But it's not. I can pick it up and it's completely together. So, what do you got going on?
Well, I wanted to share with you guys my current state of the doll I'm making for my nephew. I haven't gotten a lot done because the level of detail that project has, I don't have the attention span for. It's one of those things where it's going to be I started it and as I can, I'm going to pick it up sort of a project. But I did get a bit on the hat. Now I know this doesn't look like a hat, but I had to create it like this because the character has a bit of a off, like this fanning brim, and so the way that I'm doing it is I got the general shape done and these two will link together and then it will dome over the character's head like this once I get all the sides done. I did use some fleece almost as batting for the inside of the material, and I'm slowly just hand sewing this down. So I just wanted to share how I'm kind of working that through. As my mom has already said, the last 2 weeks have been extremely hot and it has called into question my sanity. I am trying to figure out what to do with myself, and one of them has been my wardrobe. I know that might sound kind of weird as we do live very on, okay, let me rephrase that. We kind of live in a space on the earth where Arctic winds are capable of hitting us, but we also are hit with heat waves that are up into the hundreds. So it's such a weird, we require such intense wardrobe changes throughout the year that sometimes that can be kind of hard to compete with. Some people obviously are better at it than I am, but
and wearing layers helps. If you need to take some layers off, you can, and if you need to have them on, you do.
I feel like that's the only thing that Michiganders do know is layering, because we have this thing where it's like we either just always have layers in the car that we're adding on, or ways that we can always have something to take off. There's never not a time where someone's like, oh, I'm sure you have something underneath there, just pull that off. And I don't know how many times I hear that all the time. It's like, we're not going to, it doesn't matter. We're not going to judge. Just pull it off.
Yep.
And so let a layer get shredded, and, it might not have originally suited the evening, but no one's going to care because we're all feeling it.
Yep.
And so it's very interesting. But I've noticed that I am lacking in certain elements in my wardrobe that I would prefer to have. I was looking for a swimsuit for an event I have coming, like a girls' day I have coming soon. Or I don't know if it's Friends Day. Friends Day. I don't know I am going out with friends. My friend works at the same place my dad does at the amusement park that is local to our area, and she is working on trying to secure some tickets so that we can go out and hang out at the water park. I don't know how I'm going to feel about that, as I am not someone who normally just hangs out near water. I'm also not someone who's just drawn to that sort of activity. I don't ever have swimsuits because I don't go near the water. Despite the fact of the 5 lakes of our state, I just don't tend to. But my roommate ended up having a swimsuit that didn't fit her that she had bought from a thrift store that actually fit me.
Yay.
I was kind of perplexed because it's not what I normally would wear, but it's also not unflattering, so to speak. But it was one of those things where it's like the park allows for you to wear swimwear outside of the water park, but only to a certain point, and then they kind of are requiring you to kind of, put some layers on. And I was sitting...
Again, layers.
So I was stuck being like, okay, this swimsuit is good, but once it gets wet, it's either going to be really hard to take off, or it's just going to be better for me to throw layers on.
Yep.
And so I was like, okay, what about a swim cover? Kind of like, those like loose fitting dresses or something to kind of put on it. But I was kind of stuck being like, I would want it to be 2-piece. I wouldn't want it to be a whole thing, because even thin lace is going to get heavy over a while when you're out in the heat. Yeah. So I was like, if I want to take something off, I want the ability to take something off. So what I'm currently doing is I figured I would make kind of like a loose, what is it called? I mean, it's like a beach cover, but it's like a skirt, so for the bottom beach cover, if that makes sense. But the brim of it at the top is going to kind of have its own belt. So the way that I'm doing this portion is I crocheted this, but it does look like it's been ribbed. It does look like it's knit, purled almost. And what I am doing is I did it just enough to fit around my waist, but dear Lord, as you can see, I have a hole here, and I'll explain why. And it tapers down to a less patterned, length of material. When this part that does not have the hole wraps around, my plan is to create another long layer just similar to this one on this end that would be able to go through this hole so that the brim is seamless.
Okay.
But then this becomes the belt that helps cinch my the skirt to how tight I want it.
Yeah.
But the skirt will be attached to the brim. So the brim will be fully a skirt, but this will be the belt that's attached to the brim already to be able to cinch it, is kind of my idea. Now, I know it's curling. I plan to border it after. And I've been looking at a whole bunch of skirt designs on Etsy. There is many different ways that I could do the skirt, whether it be really fully closed or lacy or however layered even. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. But as of right now, I'm just trying to see how this works out. It's been a long time since I've made something that I can actually wear. So we'll see how this even turns out. But I'm just attempting something, It's the whole being able to have multiple projects at once. Some of them are a little bit more detailed than others, but it's one of those things where I'm just kind of enjoying the process. It's been a while since I've just made something for myself that's just kind of lazy almost, just kind of doing it on the fly.
Right.
I've been enjoying it. So currently just trying to see what I can do to maybe because I bought a dress that was $30 the other day. I just needed something a little bit more flowy in my closet. It barely fits, because even though it fits me around, I'm shorter, so it's longer.
You could just sew the end.
I know, but it's, you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
It's one of those, like, I'm stuck with the fact that I bought a $30 dress that's practically a tent, and it's
just sew the bottom.
when I'm just wondering if some of this can just be made, whether it be by just upcycling clothes or what have you. It's just one of those. I'm struggling. I'm struggling a little, because I just want to be able to just have stuff in my wardrobe to be able to feel comfortable in all this heat.
Right.
Because it's just so hot. It's hard to keep up with it.
Right. Yes. And I totally get that.
It's hard to keep up with it when it's like you get so warm that obviously you have to constantly wash your clothes because you're sweating through them.
Yeah.
But then it's like you only have so many clothes that feel accurate enough to handle the heat. So ones that you would normally wear when there's a breeze or not as much humidity feel stifling, but you only have like 3 outfits that fit this heat, so you're re-washing them so much, and I'm so nervous that they're gonna tear or something because of how much I'm wearing them, but I can't not wash them when they're so sweaty. I don't know how. I don't know. People who live on the equator, help. SOS.
Yes.
We need tips.
My tip of the day is to use the dishwasher if you've got one, because then you're not standing over hot heat at the same time. So yeah, that's my tip. That's what I've been doing lately, is just using my dishwasher as much as possible. But okay, I have a quote here. Sarah doesn't know anything about this. I found a bunch of creativity quotes today, and this is the one that I'm choosing for today.
Okay.
Which says, "Art enables us to find ourselves and lose ourselves at the same time." Thomas Merton.
Well, yeah, I mean, like with my skirt, I'm not sure if it's going to work. I don't know if I've just spent all this time and I'm going to end up unraveling the whole entire thing. But right now, I'm just kind of enjoying the process. So whether I make it or I end up having to lose it, I'm still enjoying the process and spending time with myself. And I'm really enjoying it either way, because it's just an external version of ourselves just kind of going out into the world.
Right?
So
yeah.
Gotta love it. Gotta love the process.
Art enables us to find ourselves and lose ourselves at the same time.
Yep. Love ourselves and lose ourselves. And as long as you don't hate yourself, because sometimes it can get quite frustrating. But you don't really hate yourself. You just know that your perfectionism is getting in the way of you being able to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because your need for it to be quote unquote perfect is just right there. Or making it harder.
So.
Yes. Well, this video was a little bit shorter today. We kind of got started a little bit later in the day, so we hope you still enjoyed spending time with us, being able to just hear us talk, see where we are at with our projects, and just, you know that, hey, you're not alone. If you haven't picked something up in a while, doesn't mean that you're not a crafter. Hey, if the heat or the cold or just life has got you down, it's okay, take a break. It don't mean nothing. You're allowed to have moments where it works or it doesn't work. It's frustrating. You love it. You hate it. You don't know what to do with it. It is a part of the process of figuring out how you want to have your art be a part of your life. So, as always, find the peace, find the rhythm, and
give us a like, a thumbs up, subscribe, tell your friends, comment. We love those comments.
And until next time, we hope that all your projects go well and that all your whips get done and that you stitch your way
to mental health.